Ashe, namaste, one love, peace. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Today what we're gonna do, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I want to give some nice practical information on the useless ways we judge others. Okay, and also so you have an understanding how you get judged as well. So you can switch these things up so you can also increase, at least for the things that you can control, so you can at least increase the ways that you can improve your first impression. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. First impressions are everything. The human mind works like this. I'm not sure exactly why. Okay. The human mind works like this. When you first meet somebody, okay, it's very, and they get a perception of you. It's very, very hard for them to change that perception of you. Okay, so this is very, very important, especially like when you're looking for jobs, because you know how I am. Again, I'm always talking about these spiritual topics. I'm always talking about um raising yourself in consciousness and all these things. And the thing, this is all for you to navigate the matrix better. So dealing with people, of course, and navigating, through the perceptions of people is going to be very, very essential to your involvement in the matrix. Okay. Even though you're not a part of this. Okay. You're a part of it, but then at the same time, you're not a part of it. You guys know what I mean by that. So, one thing we have to understand is that perceptions are made within seconds. Okay, this is the standard in astrology as of right now, that they're made within about 5 seconds. So literally, when you first meet somebody, especially if somebody of importance, like I said, somebody interviewing you for a position, if you're in the dating scene, all right, a lot of you are in the dating scene, right? And you're wondering why things don't go well for you because you're not paying attention to these first impressions. So I'm gonna give you some light on this. I'm gonna break down some nice psychology in this, and we're gonna get into it. So one of the first errors that we got to look at, is called temporal. Okay, now you guys know how I am with this pronunciation thing. So I don't want to hear nobody laughing at me. Yeah, you heard? All right. I believe this is how it's pronounced in psychology. In social psychology, by the way, a side note, social psychology is very, very important for you to understand. So if you have an interest in that, I suggest you dive deep into social psychology. Success, I tell people all the time, the true currency is people and energy, of course, but we're talking about people right now. So one of the biggest currencies is people. So if you're connecting with others, if you're making good impressions, you're going to automatically become more successful than somebody who's very talented but doesn't have good social skills. All right. Okay. Even if you're an introvert, I don't want to. That's an excuse. Okay. We got to let these excuses go. We got to let these excuses go. If you're an introvert, that's fine. Okay. But it doesn't mean that you can't become successful in this world. All right. Anything else is an excuse. So back to this temporal extension. That's what this term is called. And this is when you judge somebody's temperament at first glance and you see that as their true personality. This is exactly why your mood and your attitude is very important, guys. Your mood and attitude is very important, but you also want to refrain from judging people on their mood and temperament when you first meet them. They might have had a bad day. You never know. A family member might have died, their dog might have died, whatever it may be. So, but you also want to realize this with yourself. If you're walking around with an attitude all the time, people are going to judge your personality by that. Okay, they're going to think you're just an evil person. They're going to think that they're going to think that you have an issue. So this is something that you want to train yourself to understand. Try training yourself when you go into the public. All right? Be very, very neutral with your understandings and judgments, even if somebody is overly happy and smiling all the time. Just because they're smiling doesn't mean that they're totally a good person and they have true good intentions. So this is what I mean by playing this middle path of being totally neutral in your understandings. I'm going to let you know about a phrase that's very important. You don't want to judge people by their appearance and how they look. You want to judge people by the fruit that they bear. So what that means is you want to judge people by their results, by their actions, what they do. You can't always judge people by what they say. You can't judge people by surface value, okay? So I'm going to continuously say this phrase in this video until you get it into your subconscious mind. So again, temporal extension is when you're judging somebody's temperament at first glance and then you project that 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 is their personality. Okay? It's not their personality. But this is also why you want to keep yourself in a good mood, at least even if you have to fake it till you make it. All right? You heard that term before, fake it until you make it. And my whole thing is always telling you guys about raising your energy and raising your confidence, because if you initially show confidence and energy, you're putting that out there to people. All right, the next thing is called parataxis. I believe I'm saying that right. Parataxis. Okay? And this is something that you can't really control. This is one of the things that you can't really control. But I'm just giving it to you so you understand. And this is when somebody is reminded, or this is when you remind somebody of somebody else they met prior to meeting you. Okay. So what happens is that they automatically connect those two. They connect you with this other person. So if this other person is considered bad in their vision, they automatically attach that to you. Now, that's something you can't really control with other people, but you can control it with yourself. When you're looking at somebody new and you're like, this person reminds me of such and such, you got to separate, because they're two different people. Because inadvertently, you are attaching that person's personality onto this person, and you might be totally wrong. This is a big, big mistake in our community, and it'll cause you a lot of problems and a lot of issues, especially in the dating scene. Okay, when you're meeting somebody, you remind me of such and such. Or you might say, ladies or men, you might say, why do I always keep attracting this type of person? And then you start treating them as such. You don't know. You don't have the facts. Again, you're going off of assumptions. Assumptions are very, very deadly. And the funny thing is that you'll realize when you analyze your mind, which you should be having these diaries. Like I told you guys, you should be writing in your diary every day. When you analyze your mind, you'll realize that 99% of what you project to be fact is just assumptions within your mind. Assumptions. You have no factual basis. You have no ways of proving this. One big assumption is that, all men cheat. That's a humongous assumption because everybody's saying it. It's a hot thing to say. That's an assumption. There's no factual basis or some things to that nature. So in your reality, what you do is you project this out. Okay. So if you have in the back of your mind, ladies, that every man is a cheater, which not all of you do. I'm talking about more so the immature people. But hey, even if you honestly do feel like that, doesn't mean that you can't grow and you can't evolve in your thinking. But just know that's an incorrect assumption. Again, there's no factual basis to that. So again, that's called parataxis. When somebody reminds you of somebody else, and then you attach that person's personality to the new person. You attach whatever feelings you've had from that other person to the new person. Okay, even if it's good or bad, even if the perception is good or bad. Remember, like I said, you got to be neutral, because this is how you guys fall for people that are actually, out to hurt you as well, because you assume that they're good. Maybe it's from parataxis or temporal extension. Okay, so another thing is categorization. Categorization. This is something else that you can't control either. So this is when you judge somebody by their sex, by their race, by their age, by their culture, so on and so forth. Okay, this is something I know people love to say, I don't do that. Yes, you do. The faster that you admit that you do this, the faster that you can cure yourself from doing this. Just like an addiction, right? I tell you guys all the time, just like an addiction, the first step is knowing that you have the addiction. You got to admit that you judge people by the color of their skin, that you judge people by their sex, if they're a man or a woman, if you judge people by their age, because you do. All right, you got to admit it though, so you can start working on it. Because this is how, other people around you are judging you by this as well, by culture as well. If you tell somebody that you're Puerto Rican, right? This whole association of what a Puerto Rican is gets associated to you. And we know these associations. If you tell somebody you're African American, right? If they see you're African American, we get all these associations, all these things that are in the other person's mind gets associated with you. Now, again, like I said, you can't really control this with other people, but you can control this with yourself. Okay? You can control this with yourself. All right, the next thing that is functional quality. Okay? And this is when you judge people by facial features. Okay, so this might be like somebody has a big nose, or somebody has a lazy eye, or somebody has wrinkles, or whatever it may be. And you know, this is something also that you can't really control as well. It's set for, keeping your face clear, you know. Of course, drinking a lot of water. Also, they got the Chinese face massages and stuff. But most of the time, you can't control if you have a big nose. You can't control if you have a big chin. You can't control if you have your ears. It's things you just can't control. But you can control this within yourself. That's the main thing that you guys want to understand, is that you want to control these things within yourself when you're judging other people. Again, like I say, always play that neutral role. Always play that neutral role. Okay? But just know, again, like I said, people within seconds, we make a judgment off of people. All right? The next thing is generalization. And this is when you notice something about somebody, and then you create this whole elaborate story about them. You just off of one aspect of somebody, now you associate all these different things. It's like a whole storyline to the individual. You got to make sure that just because somebody has something of an individual part doesn't mean they should be associated with these whole created assumptions that you're creating in your mind. So let's just say, um, I'm trying to think of something really, really easily. Let's just say you're kind of hyper, all right? Or let's just say you talk fast, right? You talk really, really fast. And somebody might just associate that, that you're just hyperactive. You're just a hyperactive person altogether. They just might this whole elaborate story of who you are. Now, again, like I said, you don't want to do this with other people, because that's just one aspect of somebody. There's plenty of people that I know that talk really fast, right? But then at the same time are really chill. And then there's some people like me that go depending on my mood, right? I'm ruled by the moon, guys. I'm ruled by the moon. So my moods change and I might be really hyperactive at one moment or one day. And then another day, I'm super chill like this. You guys might see this on the videos. Like, again, it depends on my mood. I'm hyperactive sometimes. I may be more yelling, more aggressive sometimes. Then I'm more feminine, more laid back other times. Just, I don't know. It's just, again, I'm ruled by the moon. But like that's the whole thing. Like I said, you can't really judge people off of small aspects. Okay. Like I said, don't you don't want to judge people by their appearance. What fruit are they bearing? So what and essentially happens, the reason why human beings do this is because, you know, time is moving faster. A lot of us are busy. We don't have the time to really get to know people, or we perceive that we don't have the time to get to know people because you do. All it takes is a little extra effort. But at this point in time, we just fly by. We just, you know, we just judge people right off the bat because, everything is moving faster. Like I said, everything is at a click of a button. So now, that's exactly how it is. Okay. So again, what's the phrase? Judge people by the fruit that they bear. Judge people by their results. Okay. All these spiritual people you hear about, right? And they claim to be not saying that it's anything wrong with it, but if you claim to be evolving and all you're doing is you're in drama all the time, you're arguing with people all the time. Now there's going to be times where you're going to have to fight back, but I'm just saying overall, right? If that's all the time, they're just arguing with people, they're going back and forth with people, there's all this drama surrounding them and their channel and stuff, and um they're not really, you got to understand their messages. What are they really giving you that can help you in real life, that can help you with your family, that can help you with your career? Okay. Are they just talking about aliens? Are they just talking about if the earth is flat or not? Are they just talking about abstract spiritual topics that have nothing to do with regular life as well? Again, there's things that you have to talk about that are going to be abstract, but if that's all they're bringing to the table, that's the fruit that they're giving you. It's not really good fruit. It's dead fruit. It's nothing of quality. Okay. So a couple things to make a good impression. Like I said, I've given you some of these things already. So I'm a couple extra things to make a good first impression. So when you're navigating the matrix, you're able to again get what you desire, because half of the things that you want in this reality, right? Half of these things that you want in this reality, you have to get from somebody else. So even if you're a great magician, you're a person that really does well with spells, but if you have horrible social skills, you can't get what you desire. Everything that I'm telling you guys is so you can get what you desire. So when you meet people, at least in America, all right, I can't speak so much again because you got to know the culture. So of course, simple things like maintaining eye contact, and this is primarily America and other European countries as well. I can't say about different other countries. I can only talk about the country that I'm in, you guys. So maintaining eye contact when you're speaking with people. Of course, you don't want to be staring at people the whole time, but a healthy amount. You guys know, a healthy amount of eye contact. Okay, not saying you can never look away, you can never, but a healthy amount of eye contact just shows respect, and it shows confidence. So when you first meet somebody, if you shake their hand, you're like this, and you're like, "Oh, hey, how are you? How are you?" I've seen that many times. And the other person's gonna make a judgment that you're weak. And remember, I said your first impression is very, very hard to change with somebody. They need to spend a lot of time with you And again, we just got finished saying that we don't have a lot of time, right? So they need to spend a lot of time with you to change that perception. Okay. So smiling is another one. You don't want to do the fake smile like this. You want to do a real smile where you're putting like, do a real smile, like a real smile like this. When you see that the things in your eyes, the crinkles in your eyes or whatever, when you don't want to do that. It's just fake, okay? Uh when you meet somebody, initiate the handshake. Don't wait for somebody. Again, it shows confidence. You say, hey, how are you? Again, you see me looking at, me looking in the eyes of the person, or you could do the smile too. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. You see? That shows confidence, it shows vibrancy. Again, you got to get with these things. Um, Also, shoulder, because posture plays a big role, right? If you're hunched over all the time, no, like posture up. Your posture shows you how you feel about yourself as well. You can look at somebody's posture and really analyze people's personalities. So you want to sit up, stretch your back out. If you have your problems with posture, you might need to do some yoga. Might need to start stretching out because your posture is communicating something. Okay. Ladies, this is good for women. I don't know why, but hey, this is psychology stuff. So when you tilt your head slightly to the right when you're speaking to people, especially men, I don't know why this gives off an impression that you're, more attractive or more just a nicer person. All right. This is not me saying it. This is the research. Okay. But again, of course, because of the camera, might look like the opposite way, but I'm tilting my head to the right. So when you speak to people, when you speak, especially a man, ladies, when you speak this to a man, not all the way like this, all right, but slightly, with the smile, with, all that, it makes you a little bit more attractive, gives you a better first impression. All right, so also like if you're sitting down with somebody, right? You want to point your feet in the direction towards them. All right, so somebody's talking to you over here, right? You want to make sure your feet are pointed in that direction. It just seems like you're more interested. It seems like you're more vibrant. Again, it just seems like you're more attentive to the situation and you're really paying attention. So you point your feet to the person that you're speaking to or you're interested in. Okay. Also, when you speak to somebody as well, like you can lean a little bit more. Like again, it just shows you're interested in the conversation. It shows you're attentive. It shows you're conscious. Like if you're talking to somebody and you're just laid all the way back, and you're like, hey, yeah, nice to meet you. Even if you got the smile, this just looks really lazy, right? It looks like you're not awake. It looks like you're not conscious. But if you're like, hey, nice to meet you, I guess what, blah, 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 no, nah, it seems like you're attentive. You're conscious. Okay. Uh Also, this gets a little bit into NLP for anybody that is interested in NLP. They call it mirroring. This is when you kind of mirror somebody's body language. So, because when people see things that they do, they feel a little bit more comfortable. It's called mirroring. So, if person's like this all the time, you can emulate that sometime. Not, of course, not doing everything that they're doing, right? So if they lean in, you can lean in. If they lean back, you lean back. Again, you're just mirroring a little bit to make the person feel comfortable. Uh, the last two things, of course, are just simple. Dressing well. I know. Again, just it's simple, okay? But people do judge you by the way that you dress. If you dress in raggedy, dirty clothes, they're going to associate that with you. Not saying that you have to have a business suit on. You have to be so super, you could, I dress however, but again, it's always nice. It's always clean. Of course, not most of the time in these videos. I'm in the house, okay? But when I'm going out to a business meeting, best believe I know how to get sharp, okay? If I'm going out in the night, to a lounge or, you know, going out to dinner or something like that, again, people judge you by how you dress. Again, as long as it's something nice, you don't have to have something superficial. You guys know what I mean. And then lastly, come on, again, simple stuff is the hygiene thing. It's hygiene, guys. Come on, you already know. First of all, with that, I know some of you have problems with the body hygiene. You got to do them detoxes. You got to get that stuff out of your intestines that's just sitting there, and that's why it leaks out. You won't even need deodorant anymore. Last time I wore deodorant was, I don't know, like 9 years ago. And it was natural deodorant. But you get to a point where what makes you smell is the stuff that's sitting in your colon and your intestines. Okay. People always say I smell like a stick of celery. Right? They say you just smell like a stick of celery. Or, you smell like some fresh kale because again, but then I do get into the oils. I get into the essential oils. It's your scent is very important, especially in the dating scene, guys and women. All right. Here's, scent is more important than your actual image. If you smell good, this is facts, okay? I don't want to hear nobody else say nothing. This is facts. Attraction, scent is more important than what you're wearing. So the dudes with the belts, Gucci belts, and dressing up, the women, with all that stuff. If you smell good, your attraction is gonna spike. Okay, I'm pretty sure, ladies, put it in the comments. If you smelled the man, he smelled good. Your whole perception of reality changes about him. Okay. One last thing is oral, because people don't do these things. You gotta floss. People think just brushing your teeth is what it is. No, you have to floss too. And more importantly, most importantly, is use a tongue scraper. I know most people don't talk about this, right? Use a tongue scraper. When it comes to bad breath, it's like 10% your teeth. It's all on your tongue. Okay? If your tongue's all white and stuff and it got all that gook on it, you gotta scrape it off. You're welcome to anybody that didn't know that. It's 90% your tongue that has to do with your bad breath, not your teeth. All right, it does have a little bit because you could have a bad tooth, obviously, but 90% of the time it's the stuff on your tongue because your digestive system is messed up. Okay, so again, the detoxing. Remember, you guys already know. If you want to learn how to properly detox, contact me. You can get the detox sessions. Get all that stuff out the proper way, not just with your body, but I'm talking about your emotions, your mind, and your spirit as well. So you can be vibrant. I'm only trying to help you guys. So that's it. Again, just the common mistakes of first impressions and how to make a better first impression so you can navigate through the matrix. You can get everything that you desire. That's what this is all about. Again, I'm trying to give you practical things that you can use in real life so you can elevate. Okay. Like as always, if you guys are interested in any of my other services besides the detoxing, right? Any of my other services concerning astrology readings, tarot card readings. I do the numerology readings now. Um, uh, the how to make money from home session, the money spell, the one-on-one consultations if you just need life advice. And again, like I said, I meant to say this before in the last video, I still have one more slot open for the magic coaching sessions. This is when you have me as a coach. I work with you monthly and I formulate a plan for you because again, if you're doing magic, everything is personal. This is why magic doesn't work for people, because you're not using the things that work exactly for you. So basically, I'm giving the things that work exactly for you to amplify your energy. And I'm teaching you everything I know about magic so you can amplify this, so you can actually manifest the things that you desire. Again, I have one more opening for that, because I can only handle 20 people for right now. And then once that's over, I'll get another 20 people and I'll just keep rotating. Okay. So if you guys are interested in those services, remember occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email's in the description. Get those first impressions right. All right. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Namaste. You already know it's one love.